Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you how to create the custom login and logout page using sessions in ASP.NET. Now it's time to log in with the username and password. The username, let's visit my database table. I'm using charan@gmail.com and the user password is abcdefgh1. charan@gmail.com abcdefg. I'm giving the wrong password. When I click login, see, username and password are wrong. And don't worry about the designing part. We need to extend this width and height of the field set. Now let's enter the new password. The original password abcdefgh1. I'm login. Now we are logged successfully. Welcome charan@gmail.com. When I click logout, and it's redirect to the login.aspx page. When I click back again, see, we are not visiting the welcome.aspx page. Suppose now I'm not log out. Let's copy this and paste here. Enter. Now this time I log out. See, the session of this user ID is completely destroyed. When I refresh, it's redirect to the login.aspx page. For this video tutorial, I'm creating a new project. Go to File, New, Project, and I'm choosing ASP.NET Web Application, and the .NET Framework is 4.6.1. The project name is Login Logout Sessions. Click OK. I'm choosing empty template. OK. And here the Login Logout Sessions project has been created successfully. Go to Solution Explorer. Right click the project name. I'm adding a new web form page, new item. I'm choosing web form. The web form page name is login. Add. And here we got the login.aspx page with some default HTML5 code. Now in this login.aspx page, I will create a login design, which is a username and password, one button control. So first, I will add a simple HTML table. Go to Toolbox. I'm expanding the HTML folder, Table. Now in this table, I'm deleting the style at this moment. In TD, username, password. Now in this TD, I'm adding one ASP.NET text box control. Go to Toolbox. I'm expanding the standard folder, text box control. I'm changing the text box ID from text to username. Let's copy this one. I'm adding in the password section, and I'm changing the ID of this password, which is txt pwd password. I don't require this TDs. Now we required one button control. Toolbox, button control. I'm changing the ID button login. and the button label is login. I'm deleting the last TD which I don't require. Now in this TD I'm adding one label control to display the error message. So instead of label I'm adding the literal control. Changing the ID of this literal control, which is literal MSG. After that, I want to put these controls the center of the browser. Here I'm adding h1 header tags using sessions. How to create login and logout page, and the database I'm using SQL Server. Horizontal line, and here we forgot TD closing tag. That's it, we have done the designing part of the login page. Let's check the output, how it looks the designing part on the browser. Google Chrome, and here we got the output of the login.aspx page, output of the designing part. Now I want to little designing for this login controls. Let's switch back to the source code and stop debugging. After the horizontal line, I'm adding field set tag. Let's copy this. I'm adding the closing field set tag after the table. I'm adding legend tag, login. After adding the legend tag login, I'm adding styles to this field set. Style is equals to border 1.5 pixel solid. I want to add some style to the table with some rounded corners. Border radius 35 pixels, and I want to display this login text at the left side. Text align left, padding left 25 pixels, and I want to add the height and width of this field set. Height 100 pixels and width 300 pixels. Let's check the output after adding some styles to this page. Google Chrome, and here we got the final output of the designing part after adding some styles. Now it's time to write the coding part. Let's switch back again to the ASP.NET and stop debugging. Go to design mode, double click the login button, and here we got the button click event. The first thing, I'm adding the namespaces of SQL Server using system.data, using system.data.SQL client, using system.configuration. Now we can enable the SQL Server classes and methods in this project. Before writing the coding part, let's visit my SQL Server Management Studio. We'll check the table and the column names. I just logged into Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I'm expanding the database folder. The sample DB is my user database. I'm expanding that, as well as the tables I'm expanding. And the table I'm using for this video, user reg. I right click the table, select top 1000 rows, And here we got the results of this user is table, and this table contains 8 rows. I'm using email column as a username and the password is a user password to log in. Let's switch back to the ASP.NET. We'll write the coding part. Let's add the data source connection string in the web.config file. Go to Server Explorer, right click the data connections, add connection. The server name of my SQL server is After adding the server name, I'm selecting the database, and the database name is a sample DB test connection. OK, click OK. And here we got the data connection sample db.dbo, but we need the data source for this sample db. Right click that sample db.dbo, properties. In the connection string, copy this whole part, go to Solution Explorer, open the web.config file, now above the system web and after the configuration, I'm adding connection strings, add name my connection. I'm giving the connection name is my connection, connection string. I'm pasting the data source which I have copied and the provider name system.data.sql client. After adding the connection string in the web.config file, go to code behind again. String main connection is equals to configuration manager dot connection strings. Between double quotes, I'm adding my connection string name, which is my connection. Copy that and pasting here. Dot connection string SQL connection SQL con is equals to new SQL connection. I have created the object, and this SQL connection takes a parameter main connection. SQL command SQL com is equals to new SQL command which takes 2 parameters. One is the select query and the second one is the SQL connection object. I'm writing the SQL query select start from the table name is, just copy this one, paste here, where I'm using the username as an email. Email is equals to @email and password. User password. And pasting here is equals to @user password, comma. The second object is the SQL connection. So I'm copying the object and pasting here. SQL command dot parameters dot add with value. I'm adding email, comma, and the object is a text box of email. Text username dot text. Let's copy this. We need the password, user password, paste here, and the password text box ID is text pwd. SQL data adapter SDA is equals to new SQL data adapter which takes the object of SQL command. Data table DT is equals to new data table SDA dot fill method. I'm filling the data with data table. I'm opening the connection string SQL connection dot open method, SQL command dot execute non-query method. I'm closing the connection string dot close method. If dt dot rows dot count is greater than 0. Now here in the if condition, the username and password are correct. Response dot redirect page. I'm creating a new page, welcome.aspx. Else literal message dot text is equals to, if the username and password are wrong, I want to display the message username and password are wrong. Now the main part is we have to create the sessions. In the if condition, session id is equals to text username dot text. I'm passing the email id to this welcome page with the help of sessions. Session dot remove all method. That's it, we have done the coding part in the login.aspx page. Now we'll create the welcome.aspx page. Go to Solution Explorer, right click the project name, add new item. I'm choosing webform. The webform name is the welcome.aspx. Add, and here we got the welcome.aspx page which we have just created. I'm adding welcome here. I am adding one label control to display the email ID of the user. Go to toolbox, label control. I'm creating break, and here I'm adding one link button control for logout. Go to toolbox, the link button. I'm deleting the link button. Label is logout. Button logout. As well as I'm changing the label ID, label username. I'm deleting this text. Now go to design mode, double click the logout button, and here we got the link button event. Now in the page load, if session, the session ID is this one, is not null, I want to display the user email ID. Lab username dot text is equals to, just copy this session ID dot toString method. If the session ID is null, else response dot redirect to the login.aspx page. login.aspx. Now when I click logout, I'm clearing all the sessions as well as I'm destroying the session of that user. Session dot remove all method, session dot abandon method. Now once logout, I want to redirect to this login.aspx page. Copy that one and paste here. That's it, we have done the coding part. Go to login.aspx page. Let's check the output on the browser. Google Chrome. Now it's time to log in with the username and password. The username, let's visit my database table. I'm using charan@gmail.com and the user password is abcdefgh1. charan@gmail.com abcdefg. I'm giving the wrong password. When I click login, see, username and password are wrong. And don't worry about the designing part. We need to extend this width and height of the field set. Now let's enter the new password. The original password abcdefgh1. I'm login. Now we are logged in successfully. Welcome charan@gmail.com. When I click logout, and it's redirect to the login.aspx page. When I click back again, see, we are not visiting the welcome.aspx page. Suppose now I'm not logged out. Let's copy this and paste here. Enter. Now this time I log out. See, the session of this user ID is completely destroyed. When I refresh, it's redirect to the login.aspx page. In my next video, I will show you how to record password. That's it. If you like this video, please leave your valuable comment, share this video, and please subscribe my channel. Catch you on my upcoming videos.